This is it. We're live. We're more
We're
live
live.
than we've ever been in our entire lives.
Ever.
What are we calling this? Because this isn't the full podcast, right? So what do we call
No, this
this?
is like a fucking wine tasting of a podcast right here.
Potluck podcast. All right, everybody. Welcome to the first ever Quickie with Judge Love. That's the working title, by the way. Yeah, so we're off for the summer. So that means that I have to do something else as a creative outlet, which means reviewing movies quickly with Judge Love. That's it. Not much more needs to be said. So I guess technically this is episode 1, but it's episode 63. Man, those dogs, though, are pissed. They're so mad.
I love that.
All right. So we're doing the Raid Redemption, as it was called in the United States. It's called Serbun Mot, or the Deadly Raid in its native Indonesian. And it was an Indonesian action thriller film written, directed, and edited by Welsh filmmaker Gareth Evans. Produced by Aryo Sagan Toro, written by Gareth Evans, starring a bunch of Indonesian dudes who are badasses. Cinematography by Matt Flannery and Dimas Imam Subhono. I'm assuming I'm not fucking these names up. Production companies are PT Marantau Films, XYZ Films, Celluloid Nightmares. Distributed by PT Marantau Films. Release date of September 8th, 2011 in TIFF. I don't know what that means. At the Toronto Film Festival. And March 23rd, 2012 in Indonesia. Running time of 101 minutes. Budget of 1.1 million US dollars and a box office total of 9.3 million US dollars. Oh boy, what a film. This is peak post 80s action movie.
Insane.
My comment or the movie itself?
The movie itself is just...
It's awesome. It's rad.
It's so thick. It's so gritty and dirty, and it's just great. It's like what I imagine Paul Greengrass thinks like the Bourne movies look like.
Yeah, that's what he wants them to look like.
Mm-hmm.
But oh man, if the Bourne movies looked like this, I think I would love them. But the fact that I get motion sick watching those fight scenes says a lot.
Shaky cam.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Oh my god, they're fighting.
More!
They're not shaking enough.
Perfect. I don't want to even know it's Matt Damon in the shot.
But man, holy shit. And you can tell these dudes are actually being punched and kicked. And like, somebody definitely had their ribs broken during this movie, right?
These punches are so visceral and fast. Like, there's so much
shit. Are they fast?
There's so much body control necessary to do fight choreography because, it's fighting, but with the deliberate intent of missing people's faces by about an inch.
Yeah, on purpose.
So you can argue that's harder because an inch off your face is a smaller target than your face. And to make it look like you hit is another thing entirely. And sometimes it's not possible, and then they'll just get hit.
Get punched in the face.
Punched straight in the mouth.
Willingly. Like a savage animal.
Yeah. And these guys are some real top of their craft people.
Oh my god,
Both
are they?
Indonesian actors. Iko Uwais, I know, is the lead. I'm not familiar with the other person's name. I guess you could argue that Mad Dog, the main antagonist, is probably the other lead.
You would say, but Mad Dog isn't even technically the main antagonist.
It's the Slumlord for sure.
Yeah.
But there's no way the Slumlord has more screen time than...
Absolutely not.
So I guess it's sort of like the Emperor is technically
the
antagonist of Star Wars, but Darth Vader is the one you see.
Yeah.
Sort of situation.
The heavy.
Yeah. The enforcer, if you would.
Mm-hmm.
So you can make an argument, but that man's name is Yayan Ruhian. There's no way that's how that's pronounced.
Absolutely not.
But that man is a monster.
Dude.
His kicks and punches are visceral and fast.
And it's so amazing watching somebody that small kick ass and know like that dude could actually kick their asses.
That guy could do it.
Yeah.
He's 5'2".
Yeah.
Okay. He's 5'2". He's very small. He's lean. He probably weighs 110 pounds.
If
okay.
that, dude.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's
wet,
generous.
with work boots on. But the man has some power in there.
Oh, you felt every single one of his punches.
Oh,
and
yeah.
And he was throwing those bitches without remorse. He was just, yeah.
Yeah, he's just a blur of punches. It's remarkable.
His scene, and this is full spoilers because this movie is fucking
10 years
old. And honestly, though, it doesn't even look 10 years old. All of the practical effects to me were done so well that if somebody was like, this takes place in the year 2020 in Indonesia, I'd be like, yes, it does.
Nothing is dated.
Yeah.
Really. The special effects don't look very good when there's like CG effects, but that is at the same level of bad special effects. Like there's no differentiation in the eras between that. So it's also not really differentiable.
I mean, it looks like an indie movie, which is exactly
it looks like a movie that was made for $1.1 million.
Yeah, right. What is going on?
Most of that in probably insurance coverage.
Boy, oh boy. I couldn't even imagine. I don't even want to imagine.
So I won't.
Oh, fuck. I closed the wrong window. Yeah, that's just crazy. All of it is crazy. Every inch. Or centimeter, I guess, technically, right? I'm assuming they're on the...
we're in the metric system now. Yeah.
So, okay, we can both agree that... What was his name in the movie? Rama is the main character? So, I'm going to be real with you. I am shit with names in movies. I'm really bad with names in movies in foreign films. So, if I go, hey, what's that dude's name? It's just because I'm a shit human being. We can both agree that he's the best character in the whole movie, right?
For sure.
And then it's Mad Dog.
Because he's an interesting... The movie itself it's a lot like Mad Max. Well, it came first, but it's a lot like Mad Max, where it's a very simple premise. Mad Max is go here, come back.
Yeah.
Super simplified, but that's what Mad Max is. And the raid is get to the top of this building. That's pretty much it.
It's like... I was trying to figure out whether or not this movie walked so that other movies could run, or if this is the run of a different movie. And so the things that I could think of are, this movie walked so that fucking Dread could run, because the fucking premises are exactly the same almost.
Dread is exactly the same.
Yeah, there's like minor differences, but that's it. But I mean, really, there's almost no there's pretty big story differences or whatever, but largely this is the same story that was told in Die Hard. Like,
yeah, on a macro level, just get to the top of this building. It's basically
it's one cop's got to get to the top and beat the dude.
I mean, it's pretty much what it is.
This movie's better. I'd watch this movie over Die Hard any day. Any day, without remorse.
Mm-hmm.
I would fight somebody over it.
And you'd have to do it in the streets.
And slice their head off with a door.
It's an interesting movie. It's one of those, because there's high concept movies that are like so many different plot points going all over the freaking place, like Pulp Fiction,
Cloud Atlas. Yep.
Yeah, Cloud Atlas. Oh my God, Benjamin Button has a lot of intervening threads that go on there, if that's your style. But these movies that have a lot of stuff going on at once, just insanely back and forth. And then you can get simpler stories that still have a lot of high impact plot, like the Pelican Brief or other random drama movies that you might think of. And then you get more simple, and then you're at where like Die Hard in those movies are, where Die Hard still has quite a bit of character stuff going on in there. Like a random plot point of like his shoes being gone sticks through the whole movie, and that's like a random thing that just sort of goes. And then another level is where the raid is, where the story is almost irrelevant. It's the purpose of the story is to take it from set piece to set piece. But it's really good at that.
I love that.
It's really good at that.
And it's nice too, right? Because what they're doing is like high intensity fucking action scene. People are getting their asses beat, and then you're like, oh, I'm having a baby. And it's like, oh shit, this dude's having a fucking baby. I forgot about that.
There's a little Rama, dude.
Yeah. I totally forgot that he was saying goodbye to his pregnant wife when he was starting the mission. And then 3 seconds later, it's just him beating some other random poor dude's ass.
Throwing elbows all over the place. And you're like, oh, yeah, fuck that baby, dude. I'm in.
It's all for the mission. We got to go for the mission. Yeah. But, like, there's not enough movies like this where it's like, why do you even care about the story? Why do you need it? Like, turn your brain off and watch this man whoop everyone else's asses for an hour and a half. I don't even know how long this movie was because it felt
94 minutes or something. It's pretty slim. It's a pretty trim movie because, again,
101 minutes.
Piece.
Yeah. But, like,
it's pretty slim.
It's even cool, though, not getting the full story. Like, you got little hints of it, right? Where, like, at the very end, the mob boss is like, oh, well, they're never going to let you back in. You've been cast out, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, what the fuck happened there?
What?
Give me a prequel.
And I kind of like it because it's pretty much the movie itself it's almost real time, almost with like it's almost like an hour and a half's worth of events.
Mm-hmm.
But it's basically just a snapshot in the life. I don't even know if it's necessarily the snapshot in the life of the protagonist, but it's just like the movie itself is just like a snippet of this universe that they're in. And they don't explain much about what's outside of it on the beginning or what's going to happen after, but it's very simple. And I kind of like that because, like, there's a lot of stuff that you directly just mentioned where it's like they mentioned, like, oh, it's just like when our rivals came up and, like, oh, the police never come up here. And, like, that's pretty much all that they say. Yeah. That's it. That's the entire bit of the backstory that they allow. And it's an action movie.
That's all you need.
And too many movies really just try and be like, okay, there's going to be a love interest in the third act, and then the best friend, it turns out, is going to be a backstabber, and it's going to be great, and people are going to blow their minds, and then we're going to bring it back to the Buddhist quote we said in the first, like, scene of the film. Oh, it's going to be full circle. 33% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Because it, like, you tried to, they didn't focus their efforts properly because you just can't make a story out of this.
Yeah. And like, I feel like the dude, the Gareth or Gareth Evans or whatever would have been an idiot to try to inject like that level of story into this because it's totally unnecessary.
No,
it's like totally.
This is a martial arts movie straight through.
Yeah,
it is a showcase of immense. This is a choreography film, basically, and it's really good at doing that because the choreography in this film and the camera work that shows the choreography is insane. The jump cuts are kept to a minimum, so you get some long, drawn-out scenes of him fighting like a dude here. He turns around, fights another guy, turns around, and that's all one scene, like one shot, continuously, and it's immense, and it's got a lot of impact, because an issue with a lot of Americanized martial arts films is when someone's about to punch, they'll cut.
Yeah, don't cut.
And then it'll go to another angle of the punch, and then all of a sudden it's the dude's head like getting knocked back, and it loses a lot of its effect.
Yeah.
And you'll see a difference in traditionally more Asian-styled martial arts films, especially in like Hong Kong. They'll do that same thing, but they'll cut for the punch, and then it'll show another angle, but it goes back in time like half a second. So then you still see the punch coming in, and it has more impact.
Yeah.
So when you see the fist actually hit, it works a lot better than when you punch, stop, and then your head goes back. It looks weaker, basically. And you'll see that in American martial arts films. And this one takes it a step further by just not cutting at all. And they just get punched in the head.
Yeah. The kinetic energy of this movie, I think, carries it past any shortcomings that you might find in it. Without a doubt. Like 100%. It's just like, well, it's hard to be mad because sure, like he stabbed this dude in the neck and the blood that came out looked like it's from a PS1 game. But then he stabbed another dude in the face. How can you care? Like, I don't know what your favorite set piece is or even favorite kill, but I have a very favorite kill in this movie, and it is 100% when he slams that man's head onto the door.
Yeah,
it's so creative and like, yes, it is disgusting. Yes, it's like viscerally like gross, but fuck, it's cool.
It's so fluid too. It's like immediately, it's like his mind is working 4 steps ahead.
Yeah,
and he's like, all right, this door's broken behind me. I'll jump perfectly. Nails it, and then just stares at the guy as he's dead on the ground. He's just like, yeah.
But
yeah, that was my favorite for sure.
But even then, it's like he kind of stared at him, but there was almost a bit of remorse, which kind of helps his character, right? Where it's like, you're like, oh,
he's not proud of it.
No, he hates it.
Not at all.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, fuck, man, I don't want to be doing this shit. I just want to come. And then you think that he's just another cop. But, like, you get the hints of him being a good guy in the very beginning where he saved the little nerdy dude, where he's the only Indonesian guy with glasses, so that means he must be some fucking nerd.
Dork up in the 14th floor or whatever. Yeah. All right.
So he, like, saves him, and then you're like, oh, damn, this is a fucking cool guy. Like, he's not your grandpappy's cop. And then you like find the twist out that his brother's the left-hand man of the main boss.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Alex was sitting there, and Alex hates action movies. Like, she really doesn't care for them at all. And I was like, you're saying there's no story, but look, the story that they're giving you is so potent. It's like a hit of cocaine, and then you're back into the fight.
It's just sprinkling some paprika, and then you're just off again. And that's by design, obviously, of the film. The film was not meant to be a heavy-hitting story epic at all.
Yeah.
It's a martial arts movie, and they added in the story as needed, and I think it's fine.
Yeah, this guy's crazy for even making this. I like have read a little bit about it, but like this dude is really just like, fuck it, I'm gonna just do something crazy, dude. We're just gonna do something crazy. And if nobody buys it, nobody buys it. And I love it.
And then he just did it. And it was a critical darling. It was very, very well received.
Which is kind of crazy too.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people though were like, nah. This is shit. This movie sucks.
This is bad.
Even what are the negative things that people say in Rotten Tomatoes about it?
I actually didn't even see.
I don't even know what it's rated either.
Let's find out. Where are you, Rotten Tomatoes?
87% on both. Wow, so
critic and tomato.
That's kind of no frills, all thrills. The Raid Redemption is an inventive action film, expertly paced and edited for maximum entertainment, which I would agree with. It is
My only complaint about the Raid is that it ended.
I mean, yeah, but even then, I think the ending came perfectly. It was like, I am fucking tapped out. We need to stop this movie now.
Yeah,
and then
this movie, that last fight scene is exhausting to watch. Them just constantly just blow after blow after blow. Not exhausting as in like I'm bored, but as in like, oh my God, how much more can I watch?
So I was sitting there and Alex is like on her phone kind of watching. And I'm like, I looked at my watch and I was like, these men have been fighting for 15 minutes. Like 15 minutes solid. We cut once for 30 seconds to watch oh boy kill the rookie, the other rookie.
Dome the other random guy. And then we're back.
And then we're right back in it. And it's like, I looked at her and I'm like, they'd be dead, right? Like there's no way these human beings can sustain that type of damage. And she was like, they'd have concussions at least. Like their brains would be mush.
It'd just be so much CTE everywhere.
Everywhere.
Oh my God. He's not going to remember his wife when he goes home.
No. Oh my God.
He's going to try to use the car keys to open up the door, be mad that it doesn't work, break through the window and see a woman in his bed. He's like, what?
His son gets up and tries to talk to him and he just
and that's it.
Oh man. Yeah, okay, so I found a negative. While some may euphemistically call the Raid Redemption an efficient action flick, the underwhelming bare-bones plot catches up with the high-velocity action scenes before the film reaches its midway point. What? This dude's actually unhinged. Like,
I don't know. I feel like maybe that's what he's saying, but I feel like there's truly not enough story for the story to bog down the action because it's like I don't really know. It's not like they're shoving this down your throat. Really, there's in this 101-minute movie. Take away 10 minutes for credits. All right, so 91-minute movie. It is probably 80 minutes of shooting or punching.
Oh my God! Even the first major shootout was like 7 minutes. of them just yelling and
bullets.
shooting.
Yeah.
You see somebody reload once, and that's it. But other than that, it's just shooting the whole time.
Mm-hmm. The story's kept very minimum. There's like 4 story scenes, basically. It's like the opening scene. There's the scene that shows how ruthless the gangster is with like the hammer and the bullets, which is I really liked that scene. Like, who's just like, hold this for a minute. I was like, nut.
Yeah.
Radical. Then
He's the most evil dude.
He's just pure evil. It's insane.
I feel like Bond villains could take a page out of this guy's book, right? Like, because I feel like a Bond villain is never truly evil. They're just like kind of evil.
They're just like built a freeze ray, basically, if you would.
And
it's
this
like,
dude,
okay,
these robots they're done, dude.
It's the shrink ray guy gets it. You know what I'm saying?
But because oh man, I forgot so many parts of this movie because it's been what. This movie's 10 years old, but we saw it for the first time in 2013, 14? Was it 13?
Just 13.
So, oh my God. So I haven't seen this movie in a long time, and I remembered major plot points, right? So I was like, oh, they're related. Oh, this dude's the bad guy too. But man, when he, instead of grabbing the bullets, grabs the fucking hammer. And not even the blunt. He doesn't even hit him with the blunt part of the hammer. He hits him with the claw.
The claw.
Yeah. Like, how fucking dead are you on the inside that you're like, yeah, what?
Fucking dead. Like, it's beyond. It's like, evil doesn't even cover it. It's like empty.
Yeah.
Like, there's just nothing in there.
And he's doing this just to feel alive.
Yeah. And that's another thing where, like, that scene isn't explained. You don't know who those men are, why they're there, why they're dead, anything.
You just know that he wants them dead.
It's used to just show how harsh he is, and that's all it needed to do. There's no, like, well, this guy has 4 kids at home, and he was part of a dirty undercover cop unit, and he came out, and like, no, it's just like, these guys are dead. They don't even have names in the credits.
Yeah,
like,
it's just like man number 1 is dead.
Yeah, Shotman 2, Shotman 3, Hammer Guy, and that's it.
I think one of the first cops to die, they just call like Officer 1, screams indistinctly. Because, of course, you have to watch this movie with subtitles because I don't know Indonesian. And I was like, oh, there's so many nameless fucking bodies in this film. It's just like, yeah, that dude was literally on set for an hour or 2 just to get shot in the face. That was
awesome. It. We paid him $14 and that was done.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all it was.
We gave him a slice of stale bread. Yeah. So, like, one of the negative things that I'm seeing when I scroll through this is, like, the acting is bad. The acting's terrible. I don't think I saw anybody's acting that I was like, this sucks. This is really pulling me out of this action movie. Like...
No. And, yeah. I mean, it's not like I can tell acting through the language barrier. I can't tell a good Indonesian actor from a bad Indonesian actor. I don't know what to tell you.
But even then, it's like, you can, I mean, a lot of acting is emotion. Like, displaying.
And these guys are emotive as shit with their punches, their hits, their yelling, their screaming.
But even the bad guys.
It doesn't seem fake or forced. It is, like...
It's like they found real bad guys.
Yeah.
The guy...
Some evil dudes.
I don't know what his name was, but the guy...
The bug-eyed guy with the machete.
Who's like...
Is evil.
Friend? I hope you're not lying to me, friend.
Yeah, because you know what I do to liars.
I ain't got time for lies. Like, that guy he was so convincing. And it's like, holy fuck. This dude is going to cut this guy up and his wife up and then eat with the same knife. Like, this dude is sick.
And then they have, like, an implied torture scene, like, 8 minutes later with this guy, and it's just like, dude, whatever they're doing is fucking insane. And I believe that it wasn't even part of the fucking film.
Yeah,
they started doing this shit.
It's so crazy. Like, that part too was something that I totally forgot. And I was like, there was one dude holding this guy up, and then everybody else is just cutting at him with machetes.
Yeah,
because
it's like, what?
Everybody in this movie apparently has fucking machetes.
But I believe it.
Yeah, I never once questioned
everything I'm seeing.
But yeah, like, there were never any moments where I was like, this dude's a shitty actor. Like, this is just some person they found on the street. I was like, this is some person they found on the street who has actually murdered people and is willing to murder everyone on set.
This might be a documentary to this man. I don't even know what this is. The only thing that I can comment on is if you have the English dubs, to not do that ever. The English dubs, I maybe cost $75 to do. It is terrible, and that's not the fault of the film itself or the actors, because it's a dub.
Right.
But the English dub, it is.
Did you watch the whole thing with the English dub?
I watched the English dubs this time because I started out with the English dubs because that was default. I assumed it would default to Indonesian.
It did.
It didn't default to yeah, yours did. Mine defaults to English.
So I watched the Blu-ray copy of it. So you watched the 4K and it didn't.
Yeah, it defaults to English, and I just never switched because I was like, I'm already watching it. Wow.
Is it bad?
It's potentially the worst English dub I've ever heard, and that includes like animes.
Oh, no way, dude. I've heard some pretty bad anime English dubbing.
I've watched like 3 fucking anime things in my life, but the dubbing is terrible. Terrible.
That's awful.
It is not good to watch, to listen to.
Right.
It doesn't take away from the action. It doesn't take away from the story, but it really does take you out of it when this old dude has the voice of like a 30-year-old and he's like, "Shut the fuck up, kid." It is read. It is not acted. It is not emoted. It is read.
They found these people on Fiverr and were like,
seriously,
this movie.
Voice actor experience not required.
Yeah.
The Indonesian objectively is the way to watch the movie.
Oh my god.
It's not even close.
Yeah.
Don't do English. Do not. You will no. Put on your glasses and read.
Man.
You need it.
And I don't know how the 4K one would have looked, but like I turned the subtitles on for the Indonesian. They were big as shit. It's like I'm not missing anything here.
I can see this shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can hear this writing.
And I was just like, oh man, they're like, they do not want me to miss one single word being uttered by these men because they made it big as shit.
Mm-hmm. So I don't fault it because you can't really fault a film for its dubs because that's not what the director or the actors were doing. So I think that's a moot point.
Yeah.
And the acting that I saw, which was again all physical because none of their audio came through.
Yeah.
Was very, very believable. And the emoting of these like goons, I guess you would call them, was great. They seem genuinely evil, and the drug addicts seem fucking tweaked out.
Man, like, that was the best though. When he comes careening into the window,
den.
Yeah, and she goes, "Where did he come from?" And the dude just goes,
"It's like."
Like, how do you not love that? Because like, I've never been on heroin. But I believe that's how a heroin addict looks when they're lit and like somebody comes into a window and they're just like,
all right. Yeah, shit.
I'm already here. Everything, all the side characters, granted the goons that didn't say anything were just there to die. And then the officers who didn't say anything were just there to
bodies.
Die. But man, even when they were dying, it's like, they're getting torn apart out here. And then you find out that they're there just because this guy wants to kill the other guy. And it's like, damn, these dudes just wanted to fucking clean up their city and no more dead cops. And then there were a lot of dead cops.
This fucking guy comes out and it's just like, when does it end flag situation. It's just a suicide squad.
Yeah.
But instead of convicts, it's just normal cops and the convicts leading them. So it was
the line where the general or the lieutenant figures it out, and he's like, "When are we gonna get reinforcements?" And then he goes, "We're not. We can't do that.
No one knows we're here."
Yeah, and it's like, "Oh shit!" Yeah, he's like, fuck."
Okay, now you've gone and done it.
And then he just keeps him alive so that he can put him in jail. He's like, "No, you're living, motherfucker.
No, you're coming with me."
Yeah, because I'm gonna take you down.
And then. Unfortunately, dies about 9 minutes after he makes that statement. But
his death scene is glorious. That is a warrior's death.
Wild.
Yeah.
What a fight scene.
So, really quick, because we're hitting our 30-minute mark. And I feel like we could talk for longer than 30 minutes, but you wanted to keep this quick. I want to know, what's your favorite action set piece? You're taking way longer
Easily,
than I thought.
I think up until, because I'm gonna hit you with a spoiler alert. I think the second Raid movie is better than the first one. I think
Wow.
the second Raid movie is the best pure action movie that I've ever seen. And prior to that, it was the Raid Redemption. So I think they one upped themselves magnificently. My own personal opinion. The final fight scene in Raid 2 is the best fight scene I've ever seen in any film.
That's the one in the
Pro-
mud?
yeah, the one
Oh,
in the, no,
yeah.
that's the prison fight at the start. It's a
Oh.
long, drawn out fight in a kitchen between
So I haven't
the.
seen the Raid Redemption or the Raid 2 since it
Mhm.
came out.
Yeah, I saw
So I
that in
need to watch
theaters,
it. Oh.
and that fight scene just blew my face off. Prior to that fight scene, the best fight scene that I had seen was the fight scene at the end with Mad Dog, Andy, the aptly named Andy,
Andy.
and and Rama. I don't know where they got Rama and Andy in the same family, but his
Yeah.
name's Andy. That triple fight scene is balls to the wall, insane.
It's crazy. And
All
like
fists, all hands, like no props at all until the very
Very
end
end.
with the fluorescent tube. That's it.
But if
There's
they
no
didn't-
swords, like it's just hands.
but if they didn't use that fluorescent tube, they were dead.
Just straight out.
They weren't
Dead.
they weren't going to be in Rush Hour 3.
No,
No way.
they wouldn't even made it to the end of Rush Hour 1, my man. Like they were gone. And
So it's
so
go ahead.
it's that scene. That's my favorite fight scene in that movie. In a film filled with fantastic fight scenes. That hallway fight scene that just keeps going as he works his way down and you see his fucking
The
bodies
bodies,
grow to like 17 men is insane. The
Yeah.
triple, like not even triple, like the quintuple head slam against the wall with that one guy.
and he's breaking
the one
tile
dude,
the whole way down.
Mwah!
Yeah.
Like there's so many ones that are fantastic,
Mm-hmm.
but that fight scene is a 10 out of 10 fight scene
Without a
as far
doubt.
as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I mean, the only one that could even potentially hold a candle to it would be the fight scene between the sergeant and Mad Dog. But even
Mhm.
then, it was just an evisceration of the sergeant.
Yeah. A slow and steady wearing him down and
Yeah.
then just all of a sudden, wha-pow, just no chance.
Yeah.
And
Like-
I loved that fight scene because the sergeant's bigger.
Way
Much bigger.
fucking bigger.
The sergeant is about 6 feet tall. He's 5'11",
Yeah.
listed 5'11". Mad Dog is listed 5'2". Okay, so we got a 9-inch difference that includes, reach and strength, speed, power. So the sergeant is bigger and stronger.
And like riot gear. So he's even got padding.
He's armored.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this dude's like in a fucking like Old Navy shirt.
Yeah.
And he just comes out here and the sergeant gets some hits in and then he realizes that this guy's faster than him and he starts
Way faster.
tackling him, throwing him because he's stronger. That's his benefit. And the speed just is too much. And it just catches up with him and it's the problem is rating 10 out of 10s versus 10 out of 10s is really hard because I also
Yeah.
consider that fight scene to be a 10 out of 10 fight scene.
Either
They just both are in the same movie. And they're
right.
insane.
And it's funny too, right? Because like any other movie would have had that fight scene between the sergeant and Mad Dog be much smaller than that. But it was like an event inside of this event where they were like, the speech
Yeah.
he's giving him, and he's like unloading the gun. He like takes the bullet out of the chamber,
Yeah.
and then he's like, now
This-
these,
This is the pulse.
Yeah.
This is where it happens.
yeah, and then, wah, 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 wah,
Yeah,
wah.
and then he just starts slamming him around, and it was insane. It was only probably maybe 4 minutes, a 4-minute fight scene, but 4 solid, no breaks.
And it doesn't even feel like 4 minutes though.
No.
It feels like 10. It feels like you're
Long.
in it. Yeah.
I am there, and I am exhausted, and I want to leave.
And then
It is insane.
and then the fact that he drags his dead body through this apartment building is just
Mhm.
savage as fuck. This Mad
Fucking
Dog dude
brutal.
is just he's so brutal.
Fucking brutal.
Ugh.
But it's so good. Each of these fight scenes in this movie, each of the martial arts fight scenes, could be the ending scene for other movies and
For-
like the crescendo of their action.
For any Western
For
action
any
movie.
Western action movie, this would be insane.
Yeah.
But
People would
these
nut.
are just like the pieces, because he's got the hallway fight scene That was insane. He's got the 4v1 at another hallway where there's the door
the
scene
machetes.
with the crazy-eyed guy.
Yeah.
That's just insane. There's the sergeant fight with Mad Dog, which was incredible to witness. And then there's the ending scene.
Oh my God,
There might be another. Oh, yeah, and then there's the one in the Coke Den situation with the old guy and Rama. That one was great too.
They were just fighting in a cloud of cocaine.
Yeah.
Or like even the shooting ones, right? So the very first firefight that they have where they lead into the room and Rama is like, I'm going to break this floor. Someone give me an axe.
And it's tense as the bullets are coming in, as he starts cutting it and the music swells up. It's a very good, like, all these elements are combining at once and you're like, oh shit, is he going to get through the floor in time? And then the sergeant jumps down and then gets mobbed by the fucking drug den
God,
people.
When he falls, that shit is crazy. I'm like, he doesn't die this early, does he? And then old boy jumps down with the axe or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so good. And then the explosion that they set off is amazing. Everybody's concussed, and they're like, "Oh,
everyone's
shit.
just dying." They're like covering the mouths of people so they don't make noise because the only reason they're alive is because like the smoke screen basically blocking their view, so they had to be quiet, and they split up. It's insane. So
all of it.
That's at least not including the gun scenes. There's 5 incredible martial arts scenes in this film.
Yeah,
and they're all just insane, and they're fast, and you can see them. Is the thing. The camera work doesn't ruin it because that happens so often where the punches are too quick and the cuts are too fast and the camera's shaking all over the place, but the camera is pretty consistent. It moves, but it's pretty still.
Yeah.
And you can catch them all.
And I feel like the movements add to the storytelling. They're adding the correct amount of franticness so that it's not static. Like the dynamics of the camera add to every punching kick or whatever.
So it's insane. The movie has just got incredible fight scenes, and picking one to be like your favorite is I find almost really impossible. Difficult. Yeah. But the Mad Dog scene blew my mind when I watched it the first time. Blew my mind when I watched it with you a second time. I watched it with Nick a third time, and that blew his tits off. He was like amped after that. Like, it's when like a movie is so like adrenaline filled that you get adrenaline from it, and you're like amped up and ready to go. That happened to him and to me because it's so just exciting. And I watched it again yesterday, and I was like, oh my God, I'm ready to go fight a wall.
Yeah,
it's insane.
I'm gonna go beat the shit out of a wall.
Because you think the fight is over when he gets stabbed with the tube. And you're like, oh, there we go, it's done. And then they activated his fucking trap card, and the man goes even more insane. And you're like, oh my God, when is this going to end? This man's unstoppable. Not even a jugular tear will stop this man.
I do love, though, that, like, and it's like little shit that they laid at the very beginning of the film where they're like, all right, it's the boss. And then it's Mad Dog, and Mad Dog is just like his name. He's a wild fucking animal. And then it's the other guy, Andy. And Andy is the one.
Andy!
And he's the one who holds back Mad Dog, but don't get him twisted. He'll shoot you in the face. And it's like, they're really going after some bad hombres. And like, Mad Dog just proves himself. The minute he shows up on screen, it's like, oh, this dude's gonna tear people in half vertically. He's just gonna rip them.
Okay, so this dude is just gonna phone book rip my ass in twain. And he does.
All the time, the whole time.
It's just insane. And the fact, like, it's a pretty simple character trait, but the fact that he's just like, I don't like to use guns. He never shoots a gun in the whole fucking movie. You're like, I don't like to use guns.
Oh, yeah.
And he holds a gun.
He brandishes it.
He never shoots a gun. Man. But he punches people, and like he turns his
Indonesian
back
Batman
to the sergeant when he's like only 4 feet away from him, because he is that insane and confident. Rightfully so, because my man's took on all these martial arts experts, and the movie shows quite obviously. Sure, Rama was worn down by the end. He probably had a burst fucking eardrum by that point. He had like at least 7 levels of gangrene in his cheek from that machete. He'd been punched, hit. He fell like 9 stories.
Yeah.
But in a straight 1v1, Mad Dog wins is the issue.
Without a doubt.
He's insane.
In a straight 2v1, he wins.
He won.
Yeah. They literally had to sneak attack him and stab him in the fucking neck. And even then, he could have killed them both and maybe lived. I knew that he died, but I half expected his body to like twitch to get up.
Reanimate back up. I'm like, oh my god, he's a fucking Terminator.
He's the Indonesian Terminator, dude. He's coming
Jesus
for you.
Christ.
So,
yeah.
What was your least favorite part of the movie then?
I feel like the issue is the movie's so tight. It doesn't have much
hard.
fat on it, is the thing. There's not much that you can really cut out. Because all the fight scenes are great. I wouldn't cut out any of them. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you could shorten some of the gunfire scenes when they're all just getting shot and they're shooting back, because it kind of doesn't, I guess it doesn't really add much of anything, except it's a way for them to run out of ammo, so they have to start using knives and fists.
I didn't even think about that.
So, because they all run out of ammo. Rama runs out of ammo when he's pushing the fucking fridge up, and he runs out of ammo, and he has to pull out his pistol, and that's it. He's out of bullets.
And even then, he unloads that shit real fast.
Yeah, he just loads it into the door. So, I don't know. There's not much to cut. You can maybe cut like his... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe his scene with his brother, where his brother saves him, and that's what gets his brother caught. But that's also important to the plot.
Yeah.
And it was short, and that's where you find out that that's his brother.
That's a catalyst point. Like the whole movie
That's a pivotal
changes.
part of the thing, yeah. So I don't know what you can cut out of this movie.
I don't think there's much. I don't think there's anything.
This is a trim 101 minutes.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It's very thin.
Yeah, there's not much I would cut out. I don't know if I really have a least favorite part, unless you count the fact that I wish that the sergeant didn't die. You can count that. But his death scene is fucking immense and amazing. So the man's went out like a champion.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I agree.
So I don't know if I could cut anything out of this movie. I don't know if I have a least favorite part, because it's clean. It's a dirty clean.
Yeah. I think my least favorite part would maybe be the set design. The set design was a little weird and wonky sometimes, where it's like, okay, they're in the hallway and this looks like they're actually in an Indonesian hallway. And then like the fight between the sergeant and Mad Dog, I was like, oh, well, they're on a set. Like this looks like I'm watching a stage play, and this is
like a fake area.
Yeah. But like that's the only thing. And even then I felt nitpicky thinking about that. I was like, who the fuck are you? You're watching an Indonesian action movie? Yeah. And you're going to go and you're going to complain about the set design? You sick fuck.
You're disgusting.
Yeah. But like other than that, like the whole time, and I knew like Alex wasn't watching, so I would always just like say things so that she would look up and watch this dude get fucking like beheaded, or watch both of Mad Dog's arms get broken or whatever. But like the whole movie I was just like, wow, they did this. I cannot believe they cut that man's face off with a shoe.
They did it. It's insane. But yeah.
So
I find The Raid to be, for what it sets out to do, a perfect movie for what it wants to do.
Yeah.
I don't think it made any mistakes. It set out what it wanted to do. It wants to be a martial arts film that is gritty and painful to watch.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is.
I agree.
For what it is, it's perfect, I think.
It's definitely not winning no goddamn Oscars, but
no,
I don't want it to.
But I think you should.
I mean, at least if there was a best action sequence in the Oscars, this movie would have taken it and then whooped every other movie's ass with
on
the award.
Yeah. With the Oscar.
Yeah.
I have long thought that choreography should be a category at the Oscars.
I totally agree.
And if it was a category, then I firmly believe that The Raid would handedly have won the choreography award for that Oscar year.
For that year, and maybe even the year after that.
What are you going to do? Like, what a downgrade. That's like going from Return of the King to Crash.
Yeah, it was... I mean, yeah, it would have been like The Raid, and then, The Avengers. Like, what? What? It doesn't even hold a candle.
Because that's a great example of like the elevator fight scene in Winter Soldier is visceral and awesome. That is an incredible fight scene. I also think the fight scene with Bucky and Captain America, also a 2v1 fight, versus Iron Man, is a really great fight scene with some great emotional backing.
Yeah.
But those are
Too American.
The fight
They're
scenes,
too American.
the Americans, that shit is balls to the wall
Yeah.
action, awesome choreography. And I'm not going to say that it's not, because it is. That takes immense skill, and the choreography is great. I never felt like I was watching a staged fight scene in those films. I was like, holy shit, these guys are just going.
They're going at these super soldiers is just whooping this dude in an iron suit.
But they're just completely different categories of choreography. It's way, 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 way different.
Yeah, those are like A tier, and this whole movie and the sequel they're both S tier.
Yeah,
like they're above
a different level entirely.
That they're Bush League and these are the major leagues.
Yeah, you got some minors over there, and then you got like some fucking World Series champs over here.
Yeah,
it's not close. And again, that's not to say they're bad. It truly is. That fight scene is an A in Winter Soldier. It's great. But these fight scenes are so on a different level that comparing them is kind of painful.
Yeah,
between the two,
it's almost disrespectful to the raid to even think that they're comparable. Like, I feel like Mad Dog would wake from the dead and fuck your world up for even suggesting,
for even putting that thought in your mind for a second. And that's another thing. Those two actors, Mad Dog and Iko Uwais, those two actors, they choreographed the movie.
Did they do the whole movie?
Yeah, they're the choreographers for the movie. So not only are they in it and they're fucking terrifying, but they did everything, and that's awesome. To do something takes a lot of skill. To be able to create something with that skill and to teach it, because you have to teach everyone your choreography, is a level above. It's like you don't know something until you can teach it. Yeah, sort of level, and they know what they're doing clearly. Yeah. So it is tight, and going back, choreography should be an Oscar category, and The Raid should win it. Is what we're getting at here.
It should win every year.
It's an important part of a film, and it's neglected, just like motion capture is basically where we're at right now. So yeah, what it's set out to do, it's a perfect film.
So what do you give this movie? What is your rating of The Raid Redemption?
I think that if you like action movies, you have no excuse never, ever, ever to not see this movie. This should be on everyone's list to see this film if you like martial arts or action movies in any capacity whatsoever. A rating of the film for what it sets out to do is the easiest 10 that I can give in my life.
Yeah, it's almost
so easy.
Beyond deserved. I agree with you. It is 10 stabbed in the neck with a fluorescent light bulb and fights for another 6 minutes out of 10.
It is 10 Mad Dogs killing a 6-foot-tall armored man out of 10.
Oh my god. The fact that he flips these people that are 7 inches taller than him freaks me out.
And he flips them like 9 times in the fucking film, and I'm like, oh my god, that guy just died. And they're...
It's too good.
It's insane.
So we went over by 17 minutes because I knew we were going to. But that's it. I don't know what we're going to watch next week, if we even do one next week, but we're going to do it probably because this was fun.
Probably because films are fun.
Because The Raid 2 also exists.
Because there's in fact a sequel
where more Indonesian men fight.
This time in a mud pit and probably with triple the budget.
Man, so much mud pit. I do remember that fight scene. It's crazy. Okay, we might be back next week. And if not, then we're just taking summer break. I love you. Bye. Come on, stop the stream.